Man, I had the weirdest dream last night. I was like on the Doug pillow. I woke up, poured my coffee in like the Doug mug. It was like the weirdest. It was weird.
Yeah, we've been seeing Doug too much. That might be the problem.
That could be.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 33 of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast. We're joined. Wow, that was weird. We're joined here by Doug from G2G fame.
Hello.
After the video goes out, he'll probably be internet famous here pretty soon. So, well, happy for you to join us. For you guys,
happy to be here,
that are watching, you probably just saw us in this studio, except it's actually been like, I don't know what we were just talking about. It's been like 2.5 months since we sat in these chairs. So we
had a lot.
It may seem like we've been on top of this. We haven't been in here in a while. We had to get all the equipment back out. We just wrapped up the Cleveland, Detroit, Grand Rapids open house. Literally just finished it, whatever that is, an hour ago. And so that was awesome. We had 500 people come through those first 3. So we still have 2 more to go. So yeah, I thought the turnout was pretty good. It was pretty busy. What'd you think? Do you think it was?
Well, who voted us number 1?
Yeah.
We're voted number 1 by United Sign Products.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see him. He can't see you though.
And GF.
And General
Formulations.
They gave us this beautiful, I think it's supposed to be an ink droplet that's drawn by Dallas Fowler. Huh. So shout out to Dallas as well.
So I have a couple thank yous first.
Okay.
Number 1, we need to thank everybody that subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Yep.
Thank everybody. But more importantly, I need to thank 2 companies that sponsor, because apparently now we have enough subscribers or views or whatever that we get paid for YouTube. So who's running the most ads? Well, it's Sign Outlet. Thank you, Kevin. And GSG. Thank you, Jared, for running so much ads. But we were wondering, like, what do we buy with the money that we get from YouTube? Yeah. And like in reality, when it's coming from those 2 companies, man, I had to show you, this is what we got. Like, we had to get something sweet. Everybody can see this sweet Invicta watch.
Nice.
Thank you, Sign Outlet, GSG. Now, if we could get a little help, maybe Grimco run some ads. Maybe we can get Glance to run some ads. A few other people run some ads, because we want to turn this into a Rolex. So if you could all start running ads on our YouTube channel, we would appreciate it, because this can be a Rolex next.
We need the better.
So please, 1, thanks for subscribing, everybody, and 2, keep running those ads. I need some new watches. Thank you.
We could have spent the money on, like an increased, like a better set, but our production quality is already so high that there's nothing left to spend it on, really.
Yeah. I mean, just look at this.
Maybe we could have maybe used lights or, I don't know, maybe stands that don't feel like they're going to fall into my lap, but the watch was a better idea.
Yeah.
I agree. So it was good. But yeah, so Doug, thanks for joining us. Luckily,
you're happy to be here.
Luckily, you're already here, so that makes it a little easier. You didn't have to fly out or anything like that for it. So appreciate you being here. But if you want to just do an intro, who are you? What's your current role, and how long have you been there?
Absolutely. So my name's Doug Driscoll. I'm the sales manager for G2G Lighting, and I've been at G2G now for going on 5 years, and I've been in LED signage lighting for about 11 years now. So wow, I broke that 2-digit mark. So it's been a lot of fun. I love the signage industry. I get to work with all sorts of people that are really passionate about what they do. A lot of them are very artistic, and many of them, fabricate things that, you wouldn't think are possible, like welding and all that kind of stuff. And I'm a really small part of it, but I feel blessed that I can be involved in those projects, and G2G just has a little part in that.
Yeah. So G2G, obviously we've talked about it in the last, 3 or 4 episodes now in a row, probably, and on the live stream that we did. So what exactly do they all do, if you had to summarize it?
Absolutely. G2G, number 1, I just want to say, a lot of people ask me all the time, what does G2G actually stand for? And actually, G2G actually means Globe to Green Lighting. So in the past 11, 12 years that we've been doing business, we've been taking classic sign applications and creating energy efficient solutions for that. So that's why you'll see that we got like faux neon and things like that. Now, we got started in 2011 out of New Jersey, And, Sky, who owns G2G, in 2015 went to China, and we actually bought our own factory. So Sky runs that factory.
He's just asking you to swing it this way. You're good.
Oh.
You keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, because you keep looking this way. You're good, though. Now we're good. We got it all fixed.
Okay, sorry. We interrupted that.
No
Sky
worries.
bought a factory.
Yeah, so Sky bought a factory back in 2015, and that's where we produce almost all of our products, and mainly the modules and all the lighting components that we do. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the main thing we want to talk about, obviously, the United, which is why it's on the Minion's face.
Yep.
The United product has come out. Now we're doing, this is 2 episodes back to back now that we're talking about United. So if you're like, why are you guys still talking about it? We just want you to be aware of what's going on, right? I think when we come out with a product like this, it's not just as easy as like, hey, it's a new product, let's buy it. I think there's a lot of, you already have a product. You may even like the product a lot that you're using now. So what we're trying to say is like, hey, we have something new, and there's quite a few reasons why I personally think people should switch, but rather than the 2 of us just telling it to you 16 times in a row, we'll get other people to go on. So last week you got to see Manny talk about it. Maybe not the most conventional sales technique that he's got going on over there, but
What do you mean?
He might be. He's probably pretty convincing to some people. So, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. A little weird. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. Maybe at least the first half. The second half, maybe, I don't know. You choose.
Censor it.
Yeah. Censor what? The second half?
Yeah.
It should have probably been censored. Probably should have been. So anyways, United LED, do you want to just kind of go through like what modules we come out with for the United, and kind of why did we choose the 2 that we did come out with?
Oh, absolutely. So, the United product is an exciting product that we've been working with in partnership with multiple distributors, Wensco, Montroy, Economy Sign Supply, also Spandex and Reese. And, it was really nice to work with companies that, really engage with their customers, have these relationships with their customers, and know what their customers need and want, and all these companies had a need for a module that their customers also were purchasing from them, right? And the United 2 product was a product that we put together, working with all the feedback that we received to make it happen, right? So some of the simple things we did, like a power supply to a bag, or the easy peel system, or ensuring that, customers have, the highest efficiency available in the market, and also reaching a price point that is, really affordable while still having a really great product. And I think one of the things that we focused on with the United was the performance and the color, and bringing a product to customers that everyone can enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the United module, who do you think the ideal customer would be for that specific module, or those 2 specific modules, I should say?
Oh, absolutely. So with the United module, I would say if you are already using channel letter modules, the United is something definitely you should take a look at. It uses the latest technology in the signage industry, touting 175 lumen per watt. And then also, if you're doing any type of lighting applications, maybe you're using light tape, or, you're using different type of lighting components. The United product is a very versatile product that fits into a wide range of applications,
So when would so we have the 2 modules that are out. I don't know if we said it or not yet. So we have the 0.8 watt, and then we have the 1.2 watt. When would somebody use the 0.8 watt versus just using the 1.2 watt? With the open house that we just had on, we were promoting the 1.2 watt with power supply. It ended up coming in cheaper than one of the main competitors, not a main competitor, but one of the cheaper options out there. We're kind of showing like, hey, we can come in and be at that price, but for a far superior product.
What we can say the price? What was it?
We ran the 1.2 watt bag and power supply at $34.01 a bag. So that is how many modules in a bag?
There's 50 modules in that bag.
There we go. We almost messed that one up yesterday, but I think we got it on the podcast.
Yep.
So that gives you an idea. So for those of you that have seen us run promotions in the past where you bought a bag and got a power supply of a certain brand that came in a blue bag. That's we were kind of coming in and showing, hey, we can come under that price too. But the difference is if you run those spec for spec, it's not really even that close, to be honest.
Not even
with
a
you.
comparison. Not even an apples to apples comparison.
Correct. Nope. So with that being said, where would somebody use that module, right? That's going to compete with some of the, I'll say, cheaper options in the market versus somebody using more of the 0.8 watt, which is going to be more in the middle, I would say.
Yeah. So, I mean, the 0.8 watt is a very popular power option that a lot of customers are already using. And I would say that it's really for mostly channel letters. Okay. It's about 210 lumens per foot, which is a great brightness for channel letters because they average 12 inches in stroke or less. Usually they're about 9, maybe 6 inches. And that's going to give you a really good brightness, whether, the sign's by the road or it's in a strip mall where there's a lot more lighting. It's going to be nice and bright. The 1.2 watt, I would recommend that also for channel letters. Like if you are working in an area where there's a lot more ambient lighting, like strip malls or downtown, things like that, where there is a lot more light pollution and areas where there's comparison between brightnesses, it's going to ensure that your signs pop. Okay. Also, the 1.2 is great for if you're using like perforated vinyl, because when you usually do a perforated vinyl application, it blocks a little bit of light. And by going up to that 1.2, you're going to get 250 lumens a foot. And that'll really increase the brightness requirement for perforated vinyl.
Perfect. And so you talked about
and then cabinet. Also the 1.2 I would recommend for like cabinets, because cabinets have larger cavities and you usually spread the modules a little bit more, and the 1.2 watts going to ensure that you had a really nice brightness.
Okay. So when we talk about, you talked about the size of like channel letter type things. What size would you say more on the minimum and what size on the maximum would you look at these modules for?
For each of them?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that if you're closer to 10 to 12 inch stroke or greater, the 1.2 is what you really should look at. It's going to ensure that it's nice and bright. Anything below that, you're working with a smaller cavity. Okay. So the 0.8 watt is going to become more focused. So if you do like 8 inch or 6 inch, the light is going to be bouncing around in a lot smaller space and it's going to appear a lot brighter. So I would recommend that for like the 0.8 watt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty much, and that honestly fits most of the standard channel signs that we're going to see out in the market. So,
yeah. So
obviously, we did just run into a situation with someone looking at really small channel letters, right? Mm-hmm. And G2G obviously has solutions for that. The United line may not have them, but between the both of them, we should be able to cover most of them. But I'm trying to give an idea of like the point of the United module, at least from what it seems like on our side, is more like, hey, what's the majority of the signage in the market, right? It's cabinets and channel letters. The majority of the sizes those come in, and those are the two modules that we kind of came out with to be like, hey, this should cover most of your bases, correct?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the United 2 is going to fit 90 to 95% of the applications that you're going to see in a sign company. It's truly a workhorse kind of product. It fits a lot of different applications. Obviously, there are smaller channel letters that you may need to use something with a smaller form factor. Or if you're doing like a cabinet or something bigger, there are other products, that G2G has, like the stick or the array system that may fit that better. But the United product can do that just as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So where do you think, what makes the United module different from some of its competitors then in that same space?
Right. So I would say right now, in terms of if you look at the LEDs on the market right now, what you'll see is different levels of efficiency. Okay. So for a long time, LEDs have been somewhere between 90 lumens per watt to 100 lumens per watt. Before I get into that, let me talk a little bit about efficiency and what the lumen per watt actually means. So when we talk about efficiency, when it comes to LED, we're talking about how well an LED produces light using power. Does anybody know what the efficiency rate of a older incandescent bulb was, like with the filament?
No.
Okay, so
Let's just say no.
there you go.
Pretty low.
That's an answer.
That was my answer. I think
So
low.
it was incredibly low. I mean, there are even some figures that show that the power consumption used, only 3% of that power was actually becoming visible light. And that's why when you touch light bulbs and stuff like that, it burns off a lot of heat and it gets really hot and you don't want to touch it. Now, with the advent of LEDs, it's gotten so efficient, you know, LEDs, you can touch them, they're low temperature, and they produce a lot of light. So going back to the lumen per watt, the lumen per watt means, so lumen means a measure of light, okay? So you can say light units, basically. And then watts is what we consider an electrical power. So like for every power, how much light is this product producing? Well, there are a lot of products right now, you know, they've been in the market a long time, have good pedigree, things like that. But a lot of LED guys would consider that more of a standard efficiency because they're somewhere between about 90 lumens to about 120 or so lumens per watt. Now, with the advent of 24 volt LEDs and then, you know, the push for a lot of customers wanting to stay with 12 volt, these systems have gotten into a higher efficiency. And we consider right now anything 150 or 155 and above to be a high efficiency style product, right? So the United module is 175 lumens per watt. Okay. It's a 0.8 watt. So you're getting about 210 lumens, which is incredibly high for a 0.8 watt product. And that's all because of the efficiency. Now, why efficiency? Well, out of the same 60 watt, 12 volt driver, I mean, there are 120s and other things, but just for comparison's sake, we'll talk about a 60 watt. If you take a 60 watt power supply and you take a 110 lumen per watt, you get a certain amount of lumens. Let's just say 60, you know, we'll say 6,000 lumens, right? And then with 175 or 200 lumens per watt, it's almost double that. So out of the same power supply, you're getting 75% to 100% more lumens by using a high efficiency product. And the United product is incredibly economical. It has great efficiency and the color is great.
Yeah. So we've been saying whiter, brighter, cheaper. That's been our tagline for the United module, kind of in a way. And
which all of those are true too.
We've been pushing that with going out and saying cheaper because what we're worried about is people coming out and saying, hey, this is a cheap module. What we're saying is, no, it just is cheaper than the other product. And the reason for it is we took the same module, right? So all the same components that go into the competitors, not exactly right, but the same types of components go into it. Take all the same parts, make it slightly more efficient, and you get what costs the same, yet works 20, 30, 40, 50% better than the exact same cost on the other product. And then we've already talked about all the other things, cutting out any of the middleman in the middle, and then just making a better module. And those two things combined just make it, that's how we get all three, which our joke was, yeah, I'm sure somebody eventually, they haven't yet said anything, but we'll come out with one that is whiter or brighter or cheaper, but they're not going to get all three. They're not going to get more efficient and be cheaper than the United modules right now.
Yeah, well, right now we hit all three. United hits all three. Yeah. Like we are whiter, we are brighter, and we are cheaper.
That's right.
At some point, they will come out with one that maybe it's whiter, or maybe it's brighter, or maybe it's cheaper. There's not a chance of hitting all three.
Yeah.
And chances are, if they do hit one of them, we're going to figure out a way that they don't hit one anymore.
Yeah.
Because we got a little more control. We got a lot less labor in ours. Less labor in ours.
Yeah. Well, you know, just talking on that point that you said earlier, you know, about the cheaper and things like that, you know, I've been seeing a lot of customers and people have been asking me like, you know, like this product's so great, but, you know, it actually concerns me that it's so cheap. Why is it so cheap? It's so much better. It's so much brighter. And they ask me like, you know, why is that? And the number one reason is because of the way that G2G is built, right? So the way that G2G is built is a little not really conventional. Like you would think this is the conventional way that a manufacturer would be built, right? They have a sales force, they have an operations team, they have a way to build their own product, that kind of thing. And because the fact that we do have our own factory, there's, it's a little bit more streamlined, which, if you work efficiently that way, you can bring a product that's effective, powerful, better, and cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it in like 5, 6, 7 episodes ago now. I don't even know. I can't keep them all on track, but a lot of it just comes down to like labor. Labor is one of the biggest costs, in business right now, especially with the cost of everything going up. So if you take, like we just talked about, the same components, you're making the exact same thing. One company's making the same thing. The other company's making the same thing. One has 10 employees. The other one has 20. The person with 10 employees, if they're making the exact same product, it's probably going to be cheaper. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make it a less superior product. It just means there was less that went into physically manufacturing the product. And that's a lot of what goes into cost for this, right? It's like, let's just cut out as many people in the middle as we can to get it from the manufacturer to the sign shop as quickly as possible with as little people. And that's how you get a module that's way cheaper than some of the other ones that are out there right now. So
absolutely. And, I think it also talks about Wensco a little bit. You got a good product, high performing, right? You could sell it for more than what other people are selling their modules for. However, you guys aren't trying to make a killing, right? You guys are trying to bring good product to good customers that, for a living. We're all just trying to make a living here, right?
Yeah. So we're all just out here to have a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that comes down to it too, right? Like when we talk about it, if you're building the same part, the cost is probably pretty close, right? This is across the board, right? This is in vinyl, this is in LEDs, this is in substrates, this is in all of it, right? If we're all using relatively the same components, a lot of them come from the same places, a lot of them are manufactured in the same regions, right? Your cost is probably the same. So then you got to ask yourself, okay, why is the United so cheap? Maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe the question is, why is the other one so expensive?
Well, I will guarantee
that's a good question too.
I'd put any amount you want to put on it that the modules that Principal's selling, they're coming out of China cheaper than our products are coming out of China. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And they're buying them cheaper than we are, but we're selling them for 20, 30, 40% less than them because we don't have that in between labor. Mm-hmm. So, that just tells you, like, I know, they're buying them cheaper than us, right? They have to be. They buy way more than we do. Yeah. So,
well, and with that, you're talking about, and we've been running into customers where they were buying other products at an affordable price and then bought it for a very long time, right? Have customers switched over to that product. And then all of a sudden they come in and say, hey, this is 25% more than it was last month. Sorry. Like nothing we can do about it.
Right.
And the reason for that is the distribution is so limited that they can do that, right? Because you can't go anywhere else to get it, right? It's like, this is the product you use. You have to buy it at this price. That's all you get. So the goal with this, right, is we want to bring out a product that was widely available, right? So that if Wensco goes in and we're like, we really want to make some money, right? This was $34 this week. Next week, $75. Dude, we're going to crush it. You can just go somewhere else and get it, right? Like, it's like because we spread it out, it makes it so it's widely available. 1, great. 2, it makes it so we all have to compete with each other, which is not good for us, right? It would have been better to bring on this product exclusively to Wensco, right? If we had only had this one, it was better in every way, then we could sell it at a higher price, right? Because no one else is going to come in and beat us. But we didn't want that. We wanted a product that the shops could get from wherever was convenient for them at an affordable price, which I think is what at this point we've pulled off. So
yeah, we pretty much pulled off almost nationwide, right?
Yeah,
like we're very close to nationwide right now.
In the last episode, we beeped out a name, and Doug already said it in this one. So Reese now has the United module. So I'll update the map again on the website.
Yeah, you can go to unitedsignproducts.com. We'll update the map. It is us, 7 locations in the Midwest, Monterey. I don't know how many locations he has.
If I do my job right, when you guys watch this on YouTube, the map will be right here.
Okay.
So we'll show the map, we'll show all the locations. So pretty much if you're in the United States, you have a distributor that's near you that's going to be able to get them to you.
Yes.
So and it's the other distributors too that recognize it's brighter, whiter, cheaper, which that's a lot easier sale than when you're coming in. Hey, I got this LED. It looks kind of gray and it's kind of not very bright, but but I'm a really nice guy. So not even Manny could sell that.
Yeah. And if the distributor you prefer to use doesn't have the United module, have them get a hold of Doug. They know how to get a hold of them. I think all of them probably do at this point. So, yeah, I mean, that's really what we want to talk about. We've been, like I said, the main thing we had been hearing lately is either why is it so cheap or why should we switch? And that's kind of, I think we're trying to really hammer home on is, hey, it's not really there's not any quality issues that you're going to run into. So like with that, some of the questions that come up, like what is the, what kind of certifications or UL listing or that kind of stuff? Is that all? Is United covered for all of that as well? Oh,
absolutely. So, our factory is a UL factory, right? And all of the United product is UL recognized. So as long as you follow UL 48 and the Class 2 guidelines using a Class 2 power supply, the United product is fully UL. Perfect. So.
And what's the warranty on the United products? Yeah,
so right now there's kind of like 2 warranties. Okay, so we know that there's a lot of customers out there that they prefer to use a certain power supply, right? Some of them have had some issues with certain brands. They found brands that have worked really well for them. So if they want to use that, we provide a 7-year product and a 5-year labor warranty. Okay. Now, if they use the G2G power supply, then we provide them a 10-year product warranty and a 5-year limited labor warranty. So, and I know that the United product, basically whatever power supplies partner distributors are selling, those are probably the approved ones.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at there's probably one exception in the market that I can think of off the top of my head that has a higher warranty. But everything else it's going to be step for step with anything else that's in the market. And because we've dealt with you guys for a long time, I can also tell you that they actually pay out their warranties. I haven't seen that many, but when it did come through, they paid. I don't know if you guys some of you, we just talked about this with, I'm not going to mention their name on this one, but another manufacturer that offers a labor warranty on their product. And I said, when someone asked me about it, I said, I don't think I've ever seen labor actually been paid out. That doesn't mean someone hasn't asked for it. It just means it's never been approved. So that's the other thing you need to keep in mind. Like, sure, if they have the warranty, that's one thing. But like, is it somebody who's going to back it up? Even if sometimes it's not always right. It's not always the product, right? Sometimes it is user error, absolutely. But it becomes down to like, okay, but so we're going to have to give some benefit of the doubt. So keep that in mind as well. Like it's not always, even if they have the same warranty, how well they honor it is 2 different things as well.
Oh, absolutely. So. Not all warranties are built the same. You definitely want to read through the manufacturer's warranties and, talk with customers that have had used their product. And look, companies have challenges from time to time. It happens. That's why a warranty's there. But stepping up is probably the most important thing, right? And G2G, we've been doing this for 12 years now. We've been building millions of pieces of product that are out there. And still, a lot of customers, I'll give you an example. We've been making the WOW series forever. I think it's like 10 years old now. And we still have customers who buy it. Because they're just like, I've never had an issue. I've never had a problem. And I don't want to try anything else. I'll use double the modules. I know there's brighter stuff out there.
Yeah.
But you've upgraded it 4 times or 3 times.
Yeah, 4 times.
And 4 times. And they still want the original. Yeah, we see that
they
too.
Get mad when they get the new one, even though they've now put it in the sign and noticed it's better, but then they still want the old one. Like, but I don't know. I like the old one. So,
and I like that. I like that loyalty to the product and the brand. It's always a good thing to see. And back to the warranty. Like, not all warranties are the same. You do definitely want to read them. Some people require a lot more information. Like, hey, you have to have pictures of when you installed it. Hey, I need to see it turned on in the shop. Hey, I need to see pictures of the install. There's all of these lists of things. And, happily at G2G, we're fairly simple when it comes to the warranty process. You reach out to us, send us some pictures of what's happening. And usually we just step in and take care of it. It's a small enough industry. We know who we're working with, right? We're looking for partners. That's what we're looking for. And if they're a good partner, we trust what they say, and we just take care of them. Now, we have had people abuse warranties before, right? Those aren't always the best customer, and we pick and choose our partnerships too. So, yeah.
I mean, a good example of what you just talked about is, you saw me talking about it on Facebook too. So, so in both the main two, Those Damn Sign Guys and Sign Shop Talk, there was this post. We probably could mention his name. Do you know his name?
I don't want to mention those things. I can mention some things generally. I'll say that things went very well. We had a customer that had a challenge, and if I was him and I was a business owner and I had some product issue, and I would get upset and I'd point fingers too. It might be the first thing I do, but we were able to talk to each other, calm each other down, find out what's going on. We got down to the root of the problem, right? Which is probably just some education, some teaching how to use the product properly and things like that. And, we were able to help take care of the customer. We are going to be replacing the product, even though it's not our fault. Okay. And we also are going to be helping out with the labor, even though it has no labor warranty. Okay. But we want to have good partnerships. We want to grow with companies. We're a growing company ourselves. I hope you guys come to learn who G2G is. We do a lot of exciting things. We do 3D printing, faux neon, RGBW. Sky's always coming up with incredibly great ideas. So, but we're also looking for great partners to work with, because we know that they're passionate, they love what they do, and we love what we do.
Yeah, I bring that up to say, I spend a decent amount of time scrolling through those Facebook groups to see companies just get absolutely blasted, right? And I think their strategy is like, all right, everybody, just hold your breath. We're just going to let this ride. Everything will be fine in a couple of weeks. And you guys didn't treat it that way. From the first time I saw it, I could already see that you guys were working on it. So I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. And then to see the person actually come back with hey, I got a hold of them and we're good. Just in case anyone here was curious, rather than just leaving it open, which he totally could have done, right? He had no reason to come out and say hey, they fixed it for me. But he was like, hey, they took care of me. I appreciate it. So there's not many other ones out there that would do that. We saw the two other major LED manufacturers, when the whole merger thing went down, get completely destroyed in those things. And there was nothing. There was no response.
Crickets.
It was just radio silence. Let's just let it pass on by. And you guys didn't do that. So I had a lot of respect for that. And for him, we didn't mention your name, but yeah, shout out for you for coming back and saying hey, they got a hold of Sky and he fixed it for us. So that was cool. The last thing I had on this, so we just talked about a customer with a while, but say a competitive LED, they've been using a long time. They're not having any issues with it. We talked about whiter, redder, and cheaper was kind of our thing. But if somebody's using a module, they've liked it, they haven't had issues with it, what is the reason that type of customer should look at the United module, or what kind of savings are we talking about when we say, hey, you should look at switching?
Oh, absolutely. Every good business from time to time, they need to reevaluate how they're doing things. Technology is always increasing in leaps and bounds, whether it's LEDs, printing technology, 3D printing. There's all sorts of things. And LED is probably one of the fastest developing technologies. Technologies that are being used 10 years ago are, I wouldn't say they're obsolete, but they don't compete with what there is today. And, we have to be honest. The sign business is a competitive business. There's a lot of signs out there. You need to appear, you need to stand out from the crowd. And having an effective product to do that not only makes your sign brighter, makes the colors pop better, is more cost effective, but also if it saves labor because you use less modules to achieve the same brightness. These are all things that customers should consider. If you're not considering it, your competitor might be. They might be seeing, it might be a smaller guy trying to stand out, and he picks up a more advanced product, So I think those are things that company needs to do from time to time, whether it's LEDs, whether it's printing, whether it's anything that they do in business. What is out there that can give me an edge over my competition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the two on my side that I think when people have been asking about it, what I've been covering, two things. One have you recently lost any bids to somebody making the same sign, right? So they quoted out and it was just cheaper than the one that you did. And you went like, what? How is it? Like they came in way lower than I did. Option 2. So 1, that might be your cost on your product is just too high. If you lower your cost, then the cost of your sale goes down and then you can be competitive, more competitive in some of those bids.
Yeah.
Option 2 is maybe you're still winning all the bids, but you could make the same sign and it was cheaper. So instead of making,
Well, just simple things like the smart peel. Like I was in the shop just recently and he's literally trying to peel every single one and he's got hands and eyes like me, but I can't see it to peel it. I can't feel it to peel it. And the amount of time he had just peeling it was like, well, that's why your sign's so dang expensive. You just wasted 30 minutes just trying to peel the back when it's an easy peel them all, stick them down, done.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of having 1 hour of labor, you have 4 just in
peeling it.
Sticking modules.
It's one of those. It's those simple things that they never thought about before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to make more money, you want to spend less time, or you want to be more competitive, maybe it's time to look at a new module. And we think you should look at the United.
Yeah,
module.
and like you said before, that goes to a lot of businesses. Like you should always evaluate. We just did it. We had different lunch here at the open house than we've had in the last 5 years, 6 years. We use the same company every time. Eventually, he outpriced himself.
Yep.
So we had to look elsewhere. But we didn't evaluate it till this year. We evaluated it like, wait a minute, we're spending double the amount on lunch. Is it double as good? No, well, it's not going to be double as good.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I guarantee next year when we come back around and he quotes it, I bet he's going to be back to a normal price. But but it just, and I don't think he did it on purpose. I just think it slipped his mind. Hey, I can get this. I can get this. I can get this. I don't need to be competitive anymore when he was competitive in the beginning. So you got to always got to constantly evaluate your people. I'm not saying don't be loyal, but like loyalty runs out at a certain number.
Yeah.
Like I can be loyal to you until the number gets too big.
Yeah.
Like we might be $20 friends or $50 friends. We're not $1,000 friends.
Yeah. If you're close, it's one thing, but if the second someone shops you, you've had a customer for a long time and they've been loyal. And then one time they shop you and the price is ridiculously cheaper, then that's becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So
yeah. They're not my $1,000 friend.
Yeah. To make sure you're competitively priced, sometimes it's better to shop around and make sure you're not using, if you want to use the old wows, we'll still sell you old wows too, but
I'll sell it all day, but
you could look at some new ones.
we got great new products for you.
So, that's awesome. So, that pretty much covers everything I had in United. Do you want to just give like kind of a brief summary of some of the other products that G2G offers besides regular modules for cabinets?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll just glaze over it. But, there's kind of 4 pillars at G2G. The number 1 is sign lighting. So that'll be your LED modules, your sticks and cabinet solutions and things like that. The second thing would be like architectural lighting. So we do wall washers, border tubing, spotlights, in-ground fixtures and things like that. The third thing I would say is like controls. We're very big in controls. We help a lot of companies integrate into stadiums, entertainment areas, and things like that. We have our own proprietary system, but it communicates with a standardization that is known in the industry. So it really allows easy integration to other people's system. Or if you're running it alone, it's always there for integration, or they can integrate into our system because of the standardization. Then the last thing is 3D printing. 3D printing is becoming widely popular. A lot of people are adopting them in their home, in their business. There's industries that are trying to apply them to everyday use. You've probably seen videos building houses, building bridges, and all sorts of masterpieces. But honestly, I think 3D printing is actually incredibly interesting for the sign industry because, number one, how many construction companies have a designer? How many companies in the sign business have a designer? Probably at least one, right?
Yep.
So I just want to maybe just do a little shout out. Next year, we're going to be going to ISA where we'll be doing a seminar on 3D printing. If you guys are interested in that technology, we're right now frontiering that technology, building standardization for how that's built for the sign industry. So if you're interested in that, please come check us out at ISA 2025. I said 2024 earlier, 2025. We'd love to see you and talk with you guys.
Yeah. So to give you an idea of that, the one that's over my head here, this middle
The
blue section,
the blue part.
is 3D printed too. So we have the flex, which is going to be pretty similar to the border tubing, obviously, but that's flex, and then 3D printed. Just a few of them that Doug's. Okay, we're going to switch cameras. So if you're on audio, you could just go to the. We'll be the end of the video because we're going to wrap up after this. But Doug, he just switched cameras. So this one, the flex, it's up here, and then the blue is 3D printed. This is going to be horrible to show up on camera because it's on a bright window.
Yeah, but it is backlit.
And we have a video of us unboxing this, so you can actually go and see that too and show you all that's there. So that gives you an idea. But, well, thanks. The last question we always try and end with is, what do you think sets G2G apart from its competitors in the market?
I would say that what really sets us apart at G2G is we're always looking for ways to make the customer's life easier by innovating solutions. And we're not afraid. We're not afraid, to break a couple legs to get there. We have great partners that give us feedback on helping us improve the product, which is quite a blessing, honestly. And I would say we are never stopping development. We are never stopping innovation. And that's what changes us. It makes us different from our competitors.
I mean, you guys are the booth at our open house every time where there's just something there that I just have never seen before. Just shows up at the booth. They're like, yeah, we've been thinking about this. What do you guys think? You'd be like, yeah, send it.
Yeah. I have one more question.
Oh, sure.
Who's the number one G2G sales rep 2024?
I mean, no doubt it's Mike. Come on,
right,
come on.
Sweet. I was hoping I'd win that award. I'm hoping I get
up sooner.
I'm hoping I get some kind of plaque or something.
Gonna have to get like a little trophy.
Yeah, I need a trophy or plaque or something for that.
He's gonna get a trophy, but it's just gonna be a giant turd on the top.
It's nice.
No, but honestly, shout out to Mike. He's been a huge advocate for G2G. I mean, we wouldn't be here the way we are today, without the support of Wensco and Mike and everything that you guys do, and the partner companies taking us on to work with us together to bring incredible solutions to their customers. I think that's the number one thing that us at G2G wants is, we come up with all these creative things, but there are so many times I walk into shops, right, where they'll be like, I didn't know you had that, right? And it's because we needed really good partners to help tout G2G and push product. And Wensco has been that, Montroy has been that, Spandex, and a lot of other distributors have been great with us. So I want to just say thank you for your partnership. We want to help you guys grow, and yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So this one comes out in 2 weeks, correct? Which will be the Monday before Chicago and Iowa open house. So if you're hearing this on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday of the week it comes out, we'll be in Iowa on Thursday, the 10th, October 10th. Did I get that right? I don't know.
Sounds about right.
And then Chicago on October 11th, or maybe it's the 9th and the 10th, or maybe it's the 11th and the 12th. But anyways.
The Thursday and Friday of the week.
10 and 11. October 10th in Iowa, October 11th in Chicago. And Doug will be there smiling, showing off his sweet 3D printed letters that have the crazy amount of LEDs in them. So it's pretty sweet. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You should come and see him. So, but yeah, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging out after we've spent 3 days talking to people for 4 hours a day. And now we just sit here and talk to each other for another extra hour. So
yeah,
I appreciate you hanging around. But yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully you learned something, and we'll see you in the next episode. So
thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.